I used to be a huge professional wrestling fan. The 80s and 90s, I grew up with wrestling. NWA wrestling was my favorite. WWF, it was just too cartoony. It was eh. There were some bright spots, but whatever. We're going to get into more wrestling content. Old wrestling, retro wrestling content. We're going to get into that. And trying to find a good slant for it for this channel, not just, let's talk about old wrestling. No, I want to talk about rumors, scandals, that sort of shit. And a big one, a big scandal, potential scandal, big rumor that has persisted for years. Did Randy Savage have relations with an underage Stephanie McMahon? And did that lead to Vince McMahon blackballing the Macho Man from the WWF? You can call it WWE. I call it WWF. Fuck. AI Overview gave me, because I just typed in Randy Savage, Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie McMahon and Macho Man Randy Savage are two of the most significant figures in WWE history. With Stephanie McMahon, for better or worse. I mean, she's the boss's daughter, right? They're linked by a persistent, decades-old urban legend. The legend claims Savage was fired from the WWF in late 1994 because Vince McMahon discovered he had an improper relationship with his daughter, Stephanie, who was around the age of 18 at the time. I thought she was younger. So there's a video here. The speculation is largely fueled by the fact that Savage left the WWF in 94, spent the remainder of his prime years in WCW, and was essentially blacklisted from WWE on-screen programming until long after he retired. The tension, combined with the McMahon family's silence, kept the conspiracy theories alive for decades. Ultimately, WWE and Savage reconciled shortly before his death in 2011, and he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2015. So late 94. Okay. So from what I've gathered through history, and we're going to watch a couple of these videos, or at least parts of them. So Savage wasn't really happy with his role in the WWF in 93, 94. McMahon wanted him to be more of a commentator, not an in-ring talent. Well, Savage felt like he was wasted. And this is what I've gathered from articles, other shoot interviews and stuff. So he's like, well, fuck. Savage was like, fuck, WCW is going to pay me more to wrestle. Not many dates. I'm not going to be on the road like I was in WWF. So better pay, better conditions, better terms. Fuck, I'm going to WCW. So Savage, if I remember correctly, he didn't give McMahon much notice. He's like, bye, I'm out of here. And it might not even been in person. It might have been over the phone. Who knows, right? Randy Savage had a sponsorship contract with Slim Jim, which it brought in a lot of money, right? That went with Savage. So the WWF no longer had that Slim Jim money. And in 94, they needed that Slim Jim money. I think that's where the animosity came from between Vince and Savage. That money was gone, and they needed it. Now, that's not to say the urban legend, it could be true. It could be true. The urban legend could be true. But I would think WCW would have nothing to do with Savage if there was an inkling of truth to the rumor. I don't even know when the rumor began. But we're going to look at a couple of these. You going to play? So this is Dutch Mantel. This guy, I've watched his stuff before. He seems pretty legit, pretty honest. So he's talked about the Bruiser Brody murder in the past, which his version of the story has correlated with others. So he seems genuine.
Kev Jordan asks, during your first WWF run in the mid-1990s, did you ever remember hearing about the rumours regarding the supposed real reason Macho Man Randy Savage left the WWF in late 1994? Randy was having a tryst of sorts, this is the rumour, with Vince McMahon's then 18-year-old daughter, Stephanie.
So she was 18.
Now, this is a rumour that
I heard she was 13, as young as 13.
apparently came out many years afterwards, and God knows how it got started.
Okay, so he just, we don't know when the rumor began.
Rumor? They had rumors in WWE?
Would you believe it?
Would you believe it? No, that wasn't a rumor. It was basically, if I can say this, it was more or less accepted as fact.
Whoa. What? It was accepted as fact doesn't mean it was fact. Maybe it was a rumor among the boys, like they were talking shit about Savage, and it just snowballed, and like, well, if enough people say it, enough people believe it, it's fact. I mean, this goes on outside of the squared circle, right? This goes on in real life. Fucking workplaces, enough momentum builds, a rumor becomes fact and tarnishes a person's reputation. Although I don't think this rumor tarnished Randy Savage's reputation. I mean, because it's just rumor.
Well, who said that if you say it enough, that the rumor becomes the fact?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they have done that because it was repeated over and over and over and over again. But at the end, I think Randy and Vince, I think before Randy went to WCW, I think that kind of bothered Vince on a personal level, and he got mad at Randy. And that's why that they said Randy would never, ever be in the Hall of Fame. That changed later on. But
yeah, after Savage was dead. Yeah.
It wasn't just a rumor. It was really an accepted almost statement of fact that Randy had been told or advised, not by Vince, but by, say, Pat or some of the agents there, Chief, to kind of stay clear of Stephanie. And why, I don't know. She may have said something like she likes him and he got back.
Again, when we see and hear these rumors about the older man preying on the younger female, we never consider, we're conditioned to be like, oh, he's the bad guy. He's the bad guy. But we never consider, well, maybe the younger female had a thing for the older male. Maybe she's not the victim who started the rumor and got that snowball rolling.
Back to Vince. Well, Vince, knowing what goes on between males and females, maybe wanted to protect his little daughter, which I don't blame him for that. I think he did cross the equator, and he may have dallied a little bit with Stephanie. Can I say it was true? No, I can't say it was true. It was just given as, and you can call it a rumor, but I've always heard that story. But I never really asked Savage about it. I wish I had him now. Mm. But by the time that
and nobody has,
it was going on.
Nobody has. You should check out this video. Storytime with Dutch Mantel is the channel. I don't know if if they put new ones up. Oh, 33 minutes. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, it's a good channel. It's a good channel. And honestly, at this point, only Stephanie knows the truth. And okay, well, let's just put has ever spoke to Randy Savage or spoken about? No, Stephanie McMahon has never publicly spoken about or addressed Randy Savage. There's a lack of evidence. Yeah. This is one of those things we're never going to know, probably. I think Savage was blacklisted from the WWE because he didn't give Vince notice when he was leaving to WCW, and he took the Slim Jim money with him. Now, if Dutch Mantel is saying, well, there were rumors in the back, I don't know. I don't know. What can you do with all those rumors? It's kind of like I want to fall into the trap of, well, if it was rumored amongst the boys in the back, then well, it was probably true. I don't know. If that's the case, when Randy Savage joined WCW, Hulk was there. There were some other WWF talent. Did they care? Did they care? Like, oh, Macho Man, and he's kind of. We don't want him in the locker room. You know, keep your daughters away from him. Was there any? I've never heard anything from that period to that extent. So that's what I think. I think it's a rumor. He left, took the Slim Jim money, and there we go. We don't know. And I don't know if we'll ever know.